Welcome back to another Josh K Guitar video. Josh here at your service. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much to all the new subscribers. I want to say, first of all, apologize for not getting to one of these last week. I was in Minnesota, so I was playing that beautiful 12-string guitar all week instead of being able to do my normal thing here. But this is kind of old news, but news that I've been kind of thinking about since Mick Goodrick passed away, and since this past week Jeff Beck passed away. I've been thinking about, just ways that us guitar players can pass down this craft, and Mick did something really, especially Mick, did something really, really amazing for my playing. And actually I was looking in guitar player forums on Reddit, and people were asking, what's a good book to really start diving deep into harmony. And I was one of the first responses, and I said Mick Goodrick Chord Almanac. Absolutely, 100%, hands down, will change your life. And I got all these responses like, yeah, if you can find it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He sold me one for like $30 when I was studying with him. It was the first thing he made me do, and I always kind of thought it was like, I guess you're going to make me buy your book, right? But it is the best, hands down, book for understanding harmony and interesting melodies that happen within certain kinds of harmonies and all of that, if you ask me. But yeah, I guess it can't be found, and I was looking for it, and the only copy that I could find was like $900. So I thought I would come on YouTube, and there's a lot of content in this thing, so I don't know if I'm gonna actually go through the entire thing, but honestly I think it would be nice if I could spend a bunch of time, one page every Tuesday, one page every Thursday, because Tuesday's Tone Tuesday, and I don't think that there's anything better that you can do for your tone than study music and harmony. In theory, Thursday, obviously, we can see how harmony would go with that. So I think I'm going to spend my Tuesdays and Thursdays for a little while going through some of these pages of voice leading. So today I'm going to start with just it's actually not page one. There's a big disclaimer in the beginning of the book, and I'll go ahead and recite what I find to be the most important part of that disclaimer right here. Basically, if anything feels uncomfortable, change the way you're practicing it. There's not really a specific way. You'll see when we get into the page here. There's not really a specific way that you're supposed to practice these other than find the notes, which is why I'm actually not in this video going to include any chord shapes or fretboard diagrams or anything. I will show you what I'm playing, and we'll show you how I'm achieving it, and I'll show you some different options of how you can practice it in this video, but I will not be including that because part of the magic of this book is that when you find where these things are, you start to hear where these things are. You start to build your ear, and when you play wrong notes, that's part of the process. So I encourage everybody that's doing this, make a bunch of mistakes. Please go make mistakes, but listen to your mistakes and try to not make those mistakes again. Also, more importantly, listen to your successes and try and repeat those successes. And if you combine repeating those successes and minimizing those mistakes, you'll do a little bit better every day, and that's how we all are. I still make my own mistakes myself. So that said, let's sort of get into it. So don't play this if you're if you're not comfortable. Find some other way to get it out. Play it one note at a time instead of playing the whole chord. Whatever you need to do. Okay, so here's the page. I'm going to show a couple of shots so you can screenshot. And you can see there's not a lot of instruction, but if you want to screenshot the top half here, that's the closed voicings, and then here's the bottom half with, there's the bottom half with your chord voicing, with your spread voicings and your MSRP. Now, MSRP was Mick's way of saying this is an interesting melodic line. Now, you can see at the top it says we're playing cycle 2s. This is the Mick's way of saying we're playing all the chords in C major in order. So C, D, E, F, G. What you will notice is that the arrows are pointing more of a downward motion, which means our melodic voice is going to be moving down as opposed to up. And we have all three voices doing that. You'll notice later in this book some of these stay the same pitch while others move. Some move up while others move down. You get some really, really interesting concepts as we get further through this book. But this one just starts with moving up your chords, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and repeating, but moving your voice leading downward in motion. And you'll see on the left, he's kind of broken it down. Your root, third, and fifth. Your roots of the chord move down a third, and your third and your fifth move down a second. The functional voice leading over here, and the kind of motion over here on that triangle. Okay. I'll place this down. All right, let's go through the very first line here. So the first chord, the C chord, C major, we're going to have C, E, G, okay? All right, let's get started with the first line here, all right? Now, again, we're climbing upwards in the chords. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished. We're just playing triads at this point. Again, it is page 1 of the book here. First thing he makes you learn. And we're going to have closed triads. Now I'm going to start up nice and high so that I have lots of room to climb down. And what you're going to find is you're actually, if you're playing a standard 6-string guitar, you run out of frets actually before you're even done with this whole closed triad pattern. May be able to pull it off on my 8-string. I haven't tried that yet. But anyways, here we go. We're playing C major way up top, and he wants C, E, G right here on this chord here, C, E, G, right? So I'm going to play C as fret 17 on the 3rd string, 17 on the 2nd string, 15 on the 1st. So you can play them together. You can play them as an arpeggio, whatever is comfortable for you. I would suggest doing a little bit of both if you can play both, right? C major, we're going to move down to D minor. And that's A on the bottom, D, and then F. Moving down to this next chord. And you'll notice C moves down a 3rd to A, E down a 2nd to D, G down a 2nd to F. So if you know where these are, this minor 3rd down, major 2nd down, and major 2nd down. You can practice actually doing the chord movement like that as well. It's another way you can practice these. And again, they turn into interesting little melodies too as you're doing these. So it's really fun to just work your way through them. What I like to find is what is a sound that I like. This book is meant to help guitar players discover sounds and discover how sounds are made on their fretboard. The other beauty of this is you can play this in any tuning. If you can find where C, E, and G are, okay, you don't have to follow my fret numbers that I'm using if you know C is in a different place in your tuning, okay? But you get the same benefit of learning how to voice lead in whatever tuning you're playing in. So that said, anyways, C, E, G, A, D, F. Then we're moving down to E minor. So A, D, F is going to be 14 on the 3rd string, 15 on the 2nd, 13 on the 1st. Then we move down again. This is the 5th, moving down a 2nd to G. Root, moving down a 3rd to B. And F, moving down a minor 2nd to E, right? We're going to get 12, 12, 12. Top 3 strings. That's your E minor. So far, right? Next, we're going to move down to F. Now, you have a choice. You can continue climbing down the first string, first 3 strings. I like to try and move things around a little bit and try and make everything even. So you can play this here. I'll show both of these options real quick. But again, the beauty is finding what works for you. So if you don't like my fingerings here, go find another voicing. That's okay. You can do this. Right? There's another. Right? So you can use a different option. There's a different option for E minor, right? Those are all okay. So however you find these is totally good. If you have a different fingering you want to use, go for it. But at this point, I'm using first string, but then I'm going to start climbing downwards. So for the F major chord here, I'm doing C on top, that's fret 8, then A in the middle on the second string, that's fret 10, and then we get fret 10 on the third string, F major. So now if you want to keep climbing down the first 3 strings, it's going to be here like a D chord with your first and third fingers on with your first and second fingers on fret 7. I like to move here. 12, 12, 12 on the D, G, and B strings. So you're on string 2, 3, 4. So that was my G major chord. D, G, B. Then A minor. Here's A on the B string, that's fret 10. Fret 9 on the third string, and fret 10 again on the D string on the fourth. So G, A minor, B diminished. This one's a little bit of a stretch for most people, but that's okay. Try and work it out best you can. Use whatever fingering is comfortable for you. I like this one. Some people like this. That's okay. I like to maybe sometimes play extra. You know, I like to maybe add things sometimes. So I'll do this and stretch a little bit here. But anyways, that's B diminished. So B, D, F. That's fret 9 on the D string. Fret 7 on the third string, the G, and fret 6 on the B string on the second string. Then we're moving down to the second line. We got G, C, G, C, E, okay? So really fun lines that are kind of hidden in there. But anyways, I'll go over that again. I'm going to play it a little bit of a different way. You can arpeggiate these. I like to do like up and then down, right? Right? So now I've just played from the first line to the first C chord on the second line. And what you get, again, you can hear a scale that does this, moving up in chord tones. But the motion of the melody is moving backwards instead of forwards like this. So like da, da, right? You can kind of like hear that going through the chords, which is great. So again, now we're here, right? G, C, E, 5, 5, 5 on the second, third, fourth strings. Then we're going to move down to a D minor. I like to start moving down strings again here. You can definitely play this here, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and explain from here because that's where I see it, okay? You should figure out all places. This makes you a better guitar player, okay? But just for the purpose of keeping the video kind of short, I'm going to go ahead and do this. All right, so I have D minor, that's third on the bottom, F, A, D. All right, so that's fret 8, 7, 7 on the 5th, 4th, 3rd string. All right, then we're going to get E minor. E is right here, so that's fret 7 on the A string. Then 5 on the D. 3 on the 3rd string, the G. You can see we're only on the 2nd line, and I'm already getting really close to the bottom strings of the guitar here. So there's my E minor. I'm going to move down to F major. Here's my E minor. I'm going to move down to F major. Playing that kind of like a cowboy E chord, just moved up 1 fret, and I'm not touching any open strings. So that's 3, 3, 2. That's 3 on the 5th, 3 on the 4th, 2 on the 3rd. So far, if I play that arpeggio version, now I'm out of notes, so I'm going to have to find another octave to go with there on my 3rd line here. So anyways, that said, let's go through the rest of those. So I had E minor going down to F. That's 3, 3, 2. Then I'm going to have to go to a G. So I'm doing this one. G on the 5th fret of the D string, D on the A string, and B on the E string. So root, 5th, 3rd. Then G goes down to E from A minor. Then we have C, A. And then we have F, B, D, open string. So I'm playing E, C, A is 2 on the D string, 3 on the A, 5 on the E string. And then your B diminished, that's F on the bottom, that's fret 1 on the E string, fret 2 on the A string, and open D string. Yes, open strings allowed in jazz. And then we're going to get C, G, E. That's what's on the next line. Let me move that camera down. E, G, C. Anyways, we are now out of frets. So I'm going to go ahead and move myself up 2 octaves. Is that cheating? I don't know. I don't care. It's what I need to do. Okay? So, all right. E, G, C. That's fret 14 on the D string, 12 on the 3rd string, 13 on the B string. And again, that's our C major chord. We're going to move to D minor. E moves down to D. That's fret 12. F on fret 10. And A also on fret 10. Then we're moving down to a G chord. So that's going to be D down to B. And then we have B, E, G. Sorry, I said a G chord. It's an E minor chord. B, E, G. right? So that's fret 9, fret 9, fret 8 on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th strings. Kind of like an A minor chord, but like just moved up. Or if you know like your E minor bar chord, it's just this part of it. Those. Okay, so E minor. Then we're going to have F major. We're going to move down here, A, C, F. So that's A on the 7th fret, C on the 5th fret, F on the 6th fret. That's same strings. Then we're going to have a G chord. I'm going to move this up and down a string set here. So now I'm moving to the 3rd, 4th, and 5th strings. Okay, so 5th string is going to be on G, right? So that's fret 10, B on fret 9 of the D, and fret 7 on the G string. That gives you a G major. Then A minor. We're going to take this whole thing, move it down like that. Both move down a major second. So 7, 9 becomes 5, 7. And then on the bottom, we're going to get also fret 7. That's going to give us A minor. So we have C, A, E. We're on the 2nd last chord here, right, on that line. And then we have D, F, B. D on the fret 5, F on fret 3, B on fret 4. And then we're going to have C, E, G is where we're going to end up. We're going to go all the way back to the top chord, all the way up here. And if you can, you try to just cycle around it as many times. And you'll notice here, I'm already starting to run out of frets, just like before, but if I continue trying to move downward, and then when I run out of fret, move up to 2 octaves, I'm going to find that I'm in a kind of a different cycle of this page every time. If you practice them kind of going through like that, then you'll find all of these different new places on your neck that are all just in the key of C major. This is all just C major. All just C major. But there's so many different very cool melodies which happen just in a single major key if you really analyze how you place the order of the notes. There's so many infinite ways, and Mick has really done us a service by leaving us this book. So I'm going to do my best to, as a YouTuber, to make this book accessible, because it's like $900, and that is criminal. Like, somebody please just print more copies of this and make it like accessible so I don't have to do this whole book. Like, save me the work, okay? But until that happens, I'm going to go ahead and do this so that maybe I don't know, maybe somebody will be motivated to go ahead and do that and maybe republish it or something, because it is really just such a cool book, and it was huge to my own personal development. It's helped me find my voice, and I want other people to be able to do the same. So that said, I'm going to cycle through it a few times and just play, and then let's move on to the spread part. That's the bottom portion. So I'm just going to play through it. I'm going to go 2 repeats just so I don't have to go over and over and over again. But I'm going to go ahead and do that arpeggiated motion. And why don't I start here where we left off? So C, E, G, right? All right, then now I have to find new notes, right? So, all right, all the way up to G. C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, C major, D minor, E minor, F, G, A, and now I'm out of notes again, so I'm going to move all the way up. B, C, D, E minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B minor, C. Anyways, hope that was helpful for that part. I'm going to go ahead and move to the spread voicing. Now, if you don't know already, the difference between a closed voicing and a spread voicing is just that we're going to take the note that was in the middle before, we're going to move it up an octave. So we had C, E, G, and now we're going to have C, then G being the middle note, and then E being up an octave from where it was. So instead of doing this, I would have to do like that. Honestly, it's not really possible on this instrument. It's too far of a bend. I could probably figure it out, but it's a little bit of an unreasonable ask for right now. And to ask everybody to learn it that way on a YouTube video would be ridiculous. So I'm going to go ahead and move this down an octave to this C right here. I'm still starting way high up the neck because I want to try and keep all of the voicings moving down as long as I can before having to transpose up. But that said, let's get started with this. So I'm starting on fret 15 of the A string, and I'm playing kind of a power chord. That's C and G. So C fret 15, G fret 17. That's the A string, D string, and then fret 17 on the very top. Now, a way that I like to play these is with like some hybrid picking. You can pick them all. You can just mute things and strum through it. Whatever is easy for you is totally okay. And you can arpeggiate them too. Anyways, let's get right to it. So again, I'm playing spread voicing. That's C, G, E. I'm moving downward to a D minor. So most people would do this. Nothing wrong with that. That's beautiful way to play your spread voicings. It's just not what Mick had in mind when he had downward motion. So here's your C major, starting in your standard root 5th, 3rd position. Then we're going to move down to D minor. And again, you have to spread these out. So you either have to find a way to mute it so you can play all the way through, or I like to do just fingers a lot of the time, or like some kind of a hybrid pick. Or you can spread really far. Makes it a little easier to mute if you do that. So consider this as you're going through these. Like, what's the way that you're going to play them? You know, it may be worth learning to spread them so that you're playing things on strings that are close to each other. Then your reach gets higher, and also there's different ways you can play. Instead of having to skip the string, you can keep them together. And again, that gives you a different ability, you know what I mean? I'm going to do it the really easy fingering like this, right? And, you know, like I said, if you want to figure it out in a different way, absolutely go for it. So that said, I'm playing the 5th here on the A string. That's fret 12, then the 3rd, minor 3rd, and the root on fret 10. So it's 5th string, 3rd string, 1st string. So it's C major, C, E, G, D minor, A, F, D. Okay, so that's 12, 10, 10. Then you're going to go E minor. That's going to be G, E, B. G is going to be fret 10 on the A string. E. It's going to be E is going to be fret 9 on the G. And B is going to be fret 12 on the B string. Then we have F major. That's going to be that same voicing that we had before. Root, 5th, little power chord, and then 3rd on top. So that's fret 8, 10, 10. Beautiful, right? Then we're going to get a G, right? So our G chord right here. So it's going to be 5th on the bottom, 3rd root. And again, you can stretch that, or you can play it here. Kind of like the notes out of a bar chord. The A, G, and E strings. But that's fret 5, D on the A string, B on the G string, that's fret 4, and G, that's fret 3. Then we have A minor. That same voicing that we had for E minor. Okay, so that's going to be fret 3, that's the 3rd, C on the A string. Root here, A, 2nd fret on the 3rd string, and then 5th is here, 5th fret on the 5th fret on the B string, that's E. C, A, B. Then we're gonna have B minor, 7 flat 5, or B diminished for a triad. That's gonna be kind of like that, like major one here, but you're going to flat the 3rd, flat the 5th. So that's going to be fret 2, fret 3, skip the G string, fret 3 on the B. And then we're going to resolve that to C, E, G, or G, E, C, I should say. That's the C on the next line. So we just went all the way from the 1st to the 2nd line. F, right? C, D minor, E minor, F, G, G major, A minor, B diminished, C major. We're going to keep that going, okay? So we got this, and we're going to start to run out of frets here after this chord. Actually, no, we got one more. We got room for one more. So we're going to do G, E, C. That's fret 3 on the E string, 2 on the D, and 1 on the B string. So C major. Then we're going to have D minor. That's with F in the bass. So F on 1st fret. Open D string. 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Then we have E minor. This is kind of like a cowboy chord E minor, but open E string, 2nd finger on the B, and then open 3rd string. So we get E, B, G. That's the 3rd chord on the 2nd line. Now I'm going to move this all the way up. All the way up there. So that's going to be 4th string, 14th fret. And then I'm making my power chord there again. So 14, 16, and then 15 all the way up there on my 1st string. That's going to give me a nice E minor chord. Then I want an F major, again, voicing down. So I'm going to go ahead and move to that. Okay, so it moves down actually really quick, you can see. Okay, so E, 14, 16, 15. Then my 15 just moves down a step to fret 13. And then I have 13, 10, 10. So first string, second string, fourth string. Just skipping anything on the third string. So you can stretch it out so that you mute it. You can actually also play it, like bar it. But I do like a hybrid pick. And just don't play the third string. Sorry, noodling. Okay. So there's my F major, right? Then I need G major, so I'm moving, that's the voice lead, so this 10 moves to 9 on the D string, and I'm playing G on the B string, so that's 9, 8 on the second, and then 10 on your high E string. Nice spread triad there. That's my G chord, that's B, G, D. Then I need A minor, so I'm going to have B moving down to A, and then I have my power chord, A, E, C on top. So that's fret 7, fret 9, fret 8. Then I need my B diminished chord. So I'm moving my A down to F, D, B. So I'm doing my F down here, and then I'm hybrid picking. So I can get that high note, and I'm also muting the second string. So I really don't get any like extra vibrations. I'm also muting the fourth string. I could probably just run my pick through that. It's a little sloppier though, so I like the sound of the hybrid pick on that chord. But anyways, so that's F on the bottom. Then I have D and B. So that's F on fret 8, A string, D on the fret 7 of the third string, and fret 7 again on the first string. Then I'm back down to the C chord. That's going to be on the next line there. Okay? So far we're going to have C major, D minor, E minor, F major, all moving downward, G major, A minor, B diminished, C major. So this is the second line. And then we're going to D minor, E minor, E minor up 2 octaves, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, C major. That C major again is going to be on the next line, so let me move this down. So that's E, C, G. So that's going to be E. I'm playing that on fret 7 of the A string. C on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. And G on the 8th fret of the B string. Then we have D minor. You might know this shape already, so that's power chord on the bottom and then minor third. So that's for D, that's D, A, F. So D's on fret 5, A's on fret 7, F you skip down to the B string, that's fret 6. And again, nice little hybrid pick, and I mute what I need to mute. So there's my D. I need E minor next. So I have the root on top. And I'm playing B here. So this is B, G, E. Okay, so B on the bottom. That's fret 7 of the E string. G is fret 5 on the D. E is fret 5 on the second string. Then I have E minor. Then I have F major. And I have this. So that's going to be A, F, C. So that's A on the bottom, 5th fret of the E string. F here, 3rd fret of the D. C there, 5th fret of the G. Then I have E. So I'm going to have... Then I have G major. So I'm going to have... Again, that power chord. G power chord. It's 3rd fret, 5th fret. And then 4th fret on the 3rd string. Then I'm going to have A minor. So I need 5th in the bottom, that's low E string. Then I have C and A. So C is going to be here, fret 3 on the A string. A is here, fret 2 on the G. And lo and behold, I'm out of notes again. So let's go ahead and move that up 2 octaves. So I have... That's going to be 14. 17, 17. So there's my A minor. Then E moves down to D. So that's fret 12. Then 12 for my B on the B string. And 13 on the E string. That gives me a nice B diminished. And then I'm going to move that D down to G. I'm going to move that D down to C. And I'm right back home where I started. So this is one, if you actually do this in this way, you'll end up back home. Unless you change in some different place or something, you might end up. End up like that, and then that'll be a different place too. So anyway you practice these, it's always really, really good for your playing and for your harmony. Let's go over really quick this MSRP here. This is the melody that Mick heard as he was playing this, and I'm just gonna play it in like whole notes, but that said, this is what he's hearing on his way down. It's C, A, G, F, D, C, B, G, F, E, C, B. And then it looks like there's an alternate melody here, but I'm going to play the one that's there on the bottom. Actually, I'll play them both. So then there's A, C, and then F, A, E, G, D, F, B, F, A, G, E, D. Even his melody went further than the whole span of the voice of the guitar, which is such an amazing thing. So anyways, hopefully that helps demystify a little bit of this book. I'm going to go ahead and move on to... I'm going to actually not do these in the order that they're written in the book. I'm going to do them in harmony order. So on Thursday, I'm going to do this same lesson, except it's going to be in melodic minor instead of major. So stay tuned, and you'll get a little bit more of the Mick Goodrick Chord Almanac right here at Josh K Guitar. And like I said, I'm going to give you as much as I can of this thing every Tuesday, every Thursday, until either I finish the book, unless they just make this book accessible for like $30 like I got it for. Or, hey, even if it's like $100, it's like way better than the $900 that I saw it for. Okay, like this is just completely inaccessible, and that's inappropriate to me. So that said, miss your music, Mick, and I hope this makes you happy up there. Anyways, stay tuned. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm going to go ahead and play my way out.